This is my setup of the 1200R Robotic Lawnmower by Flymo. So this was the unboxing of the base station. There's the actual mower. In the back you can see there's a switch, just powering it on and off. And then at the top there is also a flap. So just pushing it, we'll get it into the charge station to see how that goes. First of all, so there's the flap lifts up, got some clear film, and you've got the pad on top, which is mainly used for the menu system and also unlocking the device. And that was the on-off switch at the back, which should switch it off whenever you lift it up, just because they are literally blades underneath. They're like razors, so you could end up chopping your fingers off. So here we have the default setup menu when you power it on. So you just select language, country, let's go through the options, setting the date as well. Fairly simple, unless you go past one of the options, then it doesn't give you the chance to go back in. You can reset this if you do get any of this wrong, but it's all simple. Although you can see that I went past the option I shifted. Right, so this is the garden that we got to do. So we can see a fairly large lawn with different obstacles. I decided not to put any perimeter around that tree there, or what was the other thing, the washing line. It doesn't, you can't really call it a crash, it kind of bumped into it. So anyway, we're going up the garden. Trouble is, with here we've got like this that will allow it in, but how far down you go with the perimeter wire it's difficult to know. It's not intelligent. It bumps against objects, or it bumps against the wire until it can move away. That's the back of the lawn, right at the back. So I'm thinking of sending the robot to the patio because it's fairly flat. I just need to readjust the wires. Because like I said, I don't want to be doing much trimming. I want us to do as much mowing as possible. So this is the power cable base station, all low voltage. Husqvarna, which is part of the group, or Flymo's part of the Husqvarna group. I'm not sure which way around that is. That's the perimeter and guide wire there, the top right hand side. So this is the connector that goes into the power supply. The power supply obviously goes inside. It's shed, garage, building, and then the voltage cable can run out on the outside. The cable's quite stiff. So just be careful when you're unrolling it. You can get it tied. It's quite thick wire, so it sort of stays in place. It's a bit different. So yeah, one-handed. That's the connector on. That was 150 meters there of the perimeter guide wire, which I just thought that enough. It was just about. I think we're going to need some more for the back though. The base station, those holes are for screws. They screw into the ground, and then at the back you've got the connectors. So you've got the low volt on the left, and then you've got the perimeter left and right cable, and then the cable, which the guy goes straight out the front. They say at least 2 meters, but I've done mine about 4, just so the mower can easily get found. It needs to go back to the base. Talk about that a bit later on. So. Right, so back in again with new fiddling. Loads of things to do in here. Playing around the time and date again, and also just looking at settings. I think somewhere along the lines here I changed the pin, which defaults to 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, make sure you change that. Security as well. I think it's when you set the pin, it goes to medium. So you want to set it on high. It will basically alarm if the mower gets picked up, or if the stop is hit, and the lid's lifted up, it'll go off if you don't put the pin in within 10 seconds, I think it is. Also in there's the firmware. Firmware can't be upgraded by yourself, you need to take it into a Flymo specialist. On the top right it's the height adjustment, so 5 being the max. I set it at 5 because I didn't want to do wire chopping. There's a little bit of paranoia about the perimeter wire, so make sure it's just like nice and flat, otherwise you'll be chopping it with the razor blade that the mower's got. When you do initially do the setup, it does that, yeah, please what business, and then I think it goes to charging because I've got it in the base unit. If you are picking the mower up, switch it off. At the back where the single roller is, there's a power button. If you just switch that off, that will then save you from chopping it, which probably would happen with those blades. So yeah, these can be left out in the summer. In the winter I would take it inside. It's got lithium-ion batteries in, so they probably don't appreciate the cold wet weather in the winter, so but during the summer it's fine. People have made garages and kind of like things like that to stop the rain falling on them, but yeah, they're all fully waterproof. I think that was the firmware version I went into there. I might keep an eye on that and just email Flymo to see if they make any changes. Things like, I didn't know these mowers don't follow the the perimeter wire. You've got a guide wire going to the base charging station, but the perimeter, the mower won't follow the perimeter around, which would be a nice feature because that's where the grass, imagine it is going in straight at the perimeter rather than going on it, so you can end up with triangle shapes of uncut grass. One thing I've heard people experience. So going on, right, these are the pegs, loads of them, don't worry, we won't have enough, I thought that. They're the power clips for the guide, perimeter, and connecting the guide to the perimeter. And then the wire, which is 150 metres of green wire, which again was enough for this garden, but I might some more. That's the ruler, so take that out of the cardboard flap, use it. I picked it up, put it on the ground, didn't bother using it, and totally didn't really think about what I was doing, so I had to redo quite a lot of the perimeter wire. Perimeter wire can go 20 centimetres deep underground, but I wouldn't do that. I would peg it all out first of all, test it, see how you get on, and then you can start thinking about maybe burying it, but the grass should grow over it within a few months anyway. So looking down here, that's the patch going up that the base station is going to be located at. Still not sure if there's enough width there. Have to do some more testing on that. Just looking around at the wire that I put down, just trying to see, because this was filmed over a few days. Yeah, that was the one I did too close. It's literally round everything on the border, which you can't do. It's got to be 20 metres away. I would start with the 20 and then have it, see how it works. If it is bumping into things, it's not enough space. There's massive tufts of grass. You need to bring that perimeter wire back to the objects or the border. It wouldn't go up there. That's a bit of the grass I just won't be able to do, I don't think. What you can do is you can wire sections that the mower can't get to, and then you pick it up and you dump it in. It won't. You then set it to manual. It won't obviously be able to get home, so it just runs until it goes flat, and then you just put it in the charging station. This does take hours to do. I think 3.5 hours. It's a huge job. If you want to do it into 2 days, it might be worth doing that. I wouldn't do it at the end of the day. It's just like mind-numbing, boring. That section I did set up. I just ran around, not ran around, but just went round loosely, setting out the wire till I had enough before I started thinking about pegging it. This bit at the back, I kind of didn't bother with it because I couldn't find an entry point, but now I know how the mower works. I'm going to make it go to the patio area there, smooth out some of the bits that aren't flat. and then just go under the picnic table. I have had this fin section here. I thought it just can go flat, but it did actually manage to get back okay when I extended that guide wire out just to help things along. So yeah, set the sort of basic settings up first, get it working, and then build on that with going out further and testing things. Because the read the manual, you just don't know what this thing's capable of really. And it is, you know, no GPS. I don't know how intelligent it is. It's a dumb robot. It, you know, it bounces off object, kind of detects a wire and moves away from it. So, you know, yeah, this bit, you're supposed to have this 30 centimetres either side of the guide wire that comes out of the docking station. Mine's less than that. It has done funny things, so I think I'll probably have to go in and take a look at it and maybe change that. Once you've got the setup done, though, there's enough you have to do. The only thing you ever have to do is if you move, which would be a nightmare, I would just take the thing with you and then just leave everything else buried, all the wires and stuff. But yeah, sorry, once it's done, that's it, unless they get cable. Cable breaks apparently can be quite difficult to lay. You have to do some like connecting up the cables and bring out sections of cable. So yeah, this is me doing the wire to light. It's literally right next to every object, which you know should be the 20 centimeters. If it's a flat paving stone like there, it can be less. But yeah, I was just playing around, testing things really. That's the way you kind of learn how to do it all. There it goes. Does make a funny noise because it is actually chopping. So that was too much. Later on I changed it to a shorter distance. That's the guide wire, comes out the back. And the two perimeter wires in the back, so the guide just clicks into the base, goes out here and then connects into the perimeter, which later on I extended it out by 2 to 3 meters from there. At the end of the run it's kind of like not chopping, it's just so the other connectors, the red ones are for the back of the base station and the blue and clear ones are for the perimeter to the guide wire. These are the slabs. That's wrong, don't do that. I did test it and it went a little bit wrong. I think you probably want to, once you set up, your blades will be a little bit blunt from your accident, so you probably want to just put the new set of blades on. They're not that expensive, because I know mine are probably a bit kind of blunt in places. So that's the run out. Again, this is over a couple of days, so I remember which bits were which. I think that got pulled extended again. I did that at the end of today. Robot anxiety that it won't get home. I moved that more. If you've got a little square garden, this will be a doddle to set up. Just a more complicated one. I've said before, but the washing line and the shutter, I didn't bother setting up any perimeter wire around there, so I'd let it bump, which is good because it goes right under in places. There we go, that's the correct distance, I think. Can it? Yeah, look, I picked up the ruler, remembered to pick that up and start using it. And here we go again, look, that's the final thing on the patio. The thing to bear in mind is that you can twist the pegs, so if you do get any slack, twist them, push them in and then bang them down. That way you haven't got any loops of wire hanging around that the anyone get caught in or the mower can cut. I think it's here that I actually do it with one. You see it's like fairly slack, so you want a little bit of tension, obviously not too much. So that's the peg. I start turning it, get that tension. Doesn't cause any problems that I'm aware of. push it in, and then hammer it in. So towards the end of this, I do like a couple of points to like think about before you kick off, which is handy. Learn by my mistakes rather than moaning, to save some time. What I do, I'm going to do another video after this one, a follow-up after a week or so with just some updates and observations, and probably to include the how I get the mower over the patio and under the picnic table. Yeah, that wasn't pretty. That's what I want to change, so it's smooth way up there, and then it can get over that area. But I need to be careful when I change the blade height. Anyway, these are the top tips. Work out where the base will go. Making sure the guide wire is centimetres space each side of the perimeter wire. Use this cardboard ruler, use the cardboard box. Recommend when there's a gap. You need to peg the wire on the grass and not literally on the border like I did. The robot will bounce off rather than be guided. It will take 2 hours to put out the wire. Split this into 2 parts, it's not pleasant. Oh yeah, and don't stretch the wire. I did that and it was a bit of a mistake. Anyway, hope you like watching. Don't forget to subscribe for my other series on this robot lawnmower. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.